Hello, how are you doing? It's Róisín here. Today I'm going to show you some beautiful new paints given to me by the fantastic Roman Szmal over in Poland. Watercolour creator extraordinaire and all around super chap. I have 20 colours with their original wrappers on and one that Roman Szmal snuck in tinfoil without any labels. So let's see how that one goes as well. But a little surprise at the end. So starting line by line. Number 1, 268 nickel tungsten yellow. Number 2, 264 azo yellow. Number 3, 371 anthraquinone yellow. Number 4, 266 gamboge hue. And number 5, 372 bismuth orange. So I'm going to try these out one by one, make a little swatch card. Let's see what they look like. Here are my first 5 little rectangles for the first 5 colours. And I've written the names and the numbers of each of the colours underneath. Now this time I've decided to include the properties of each of the colours that I've been given underneath the colours in question. Now let's see what they look like when I open them up. Boy, this one's sticky. Well, there's so much stuck to the inside of the lid. I'm just going to use that to paint my little swatches because why would I let it go to waste? I'll paint all my little swatches in the same way, starting at a more concentrated paint at the top, going to a medium and then a very dilute at the bottom. This is a nice little shade of yellow. It's a very kind of it seems opaque, but I guess it's semi-opaque according to the legend. Now the next one is also very sticky and it's a much clearer yellow. This is azo yellow. And you can see from the legend underneath the box that it is transparent. I like this yellow. I have high hopes for it. The next one, 371. Getting a little bit less sticky. This one is called anthraquinone yellow and it is semi-transparent. Another gorgeous yellow. Be dying to see how that mixes with other colours. And the next one is number, is it 266? And it's a gamboge hue. And it's another lovely shade of yellow, what can I say? It's beautiful and it's clear. And you can see with Roman Szmal's paints that they're all, or certainly all seem to be so far, single pigment watercolours. And I guess that makes them super clear. The last one in the yellows is number 372 and it's called bismuth orange and it's not at all sticky. So I'm going straight into the pan for this one. And it's semi-opaque and you can really feel that when you're painting it. Very nice shade of orange. I'm always on the lookout for a nice orange. So there you go, 5 new shades of yellow stroke orange. I'm looking forward to mixing them with other colours from this new set and see how they perform. Now, just for the fun of it, I drew the boxes at the bottom, the little full pans of paint. I did consider drawing yellow things like bananas and flowers and I don't know, lemons. I suppose I could still do that. But I just want to get this video out to you and for you to make up your mind about what colours that you like. You have to be a little bit careful with the addition of the shadows because I want to make sure that they don't flood into the yellows and mix with them, because if you don't wait for them to be dry in between yellow and blue, well, you're going to end up with green. Okay, it's time for the reds. We've got number 6, 376 raspberry red. Number 7, 374 quinacridone warm scarlet. Number 8, 370 perylene vermilion. Number 9, 373 perylene scarlet. And number 10, 375 perylene red deep. Let's see how they look painted out in swatches. So you can see from left to right, we've got raspberry red is semi-opaque. Quinacridone warm scarlet is transparent, perylene vermilion is semi-transparent, and so is perylene scarlet, semi-transparent, and finally you've got perylene red deep, and that's transparent. So let's see what they look like when they're all painted up. The first one we have is 376 Raspberry Red, very sticky. So I'm painting it from the lid, but I got to tell you, it's not any colour of raspberry that I am familiar with. It's just not a raspberry colour. The next one is 374 Quinacridone Warm Scarlet, and this one reminds me very much of Cherry Quinacridone Red, also made by Szmal, and I am going to see how it mixes with Yellow Ochre and Burnt Sienna for a skin tone, because I feel it might be quite nice. The next one we have is number 370 Perylene Vermilion, a beautiful shade of red, very red, I want to say, very red. Pretty sticky as well. Look at that lovely shade of red. Isn't that nice? What a beautiful shade of red. Really like this one. The next one is number 373 and it's called Perylene Scarlet and it is semi-transparent. So let's see how this guy looks. Another beautiful red, very, I don't know, classical red. Now finally in the reds we've got 375 Perylene Red Deep. Ooh, another sticky one. It seems to have just a little bit more purpley tones in it this time. Well, again, I could paint poppies and tomatoes and strawberries, but instead I'm just painting little pictures of the full pans themselves because they're just really nice to draw. Good practice, by the way, if you want to get to grips with shadows and perspective and the way shadows are cast. And they're small and you get to paint them in nice colours. Okay, time for the third row. We've got 377 Strontium Violet, 369 Aquarius Violet, 261 Phthalo Blue, turquoise shade, 269 Royal Blue Light, and finally, limited edition Lapis Lazuli, Afghan. Very exciting. And if you're not sure which column we're talking about, it is the second one in from the left, the one with all the blues. Well, I like this particular selection of blues and violets because I am an absolute aficionado of Aquarius Violet. And the last one, limited edition, Lapis Lazuli, well, it has me intrigued. So let's see how we get on. So first up is 377. Another little sticky one. Strontium Violet. Nice clean shade of violet. I like it. Semi-transparent. Now the next one is Aquarius Violet 369. This is a super granulating colour and it's a mixture of quite a number of pigments, as you can see there. Semi-transparent and super granulating. And the next one is Phthalo Blue turquoise shade. Now this one I sort of felt I'd put too much water in. So after I'd put down the first layer of blue, I started trying to take it off like mad. As you can see, I was poking it, and you'll see what happens when we get to the bit at the end. 269, Royal Blue Light. You can see how opaque it is. Now, that doesn't mean it is opaque, but it has been mixed with white. White is one of the pigments in it. And I think you can kind of see that when you look at the blue. Now, on the one hand, it is kind of a Madonna blue, which is a blue I've been looking for a long time. On the other hand, I'm not so sure. I like my blues a bit more transparent. Ooh, limited edition Lapis Lazuli. An earth pigment, special edition. Doesn't even get a number. Let's have a look at this one. I think this is very interesting. Okay, so far, so faint. Seems to need a couple of goes to get a little bit richer, which is absolutely fine. don't know if you can think of a use for it. I can't think of one immediately off the top of my head, but no doubt there are plenty of wonderful uses. Finally, on to the last column. Number 16, 137 Natural Umber Reddish. Number 17, 378 Benzimidazole Brown. Number 18, 262 Urban Grey. Number 19, 267 Graphite. And lastly, number 20, 263 Velvet Black. So let's have a look at the last column. Here's the swatch boxes for each of them. We've got a few that are going to be intriguing to me because they're black and grey. And I'm not used to using black and grey. Okay, what about the first one? 137 Natural Umber Reddish. Now, I gotta tell you, as soon as I put this colour on, I think it is just gorgeous. It reminds me of the burnt umber that I always wanted. Look at that shade of brown. It's sort of, I don't know, earthy and chocolatey, and do you know what? I'm going to love using that in my everyday set. The other brown in this set of new colours by Szmal is called Benzimidazole. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it right. Benzimidazole Brown. It's transparent and it's a very delightful reddish brown. It's a deep reddish brown and I really like it. It's lovely and I'm not sure what I'd use it for. It's just such a nice colour. Now we're on to the greys. Very, very exciting. This one is 262 Urban Grey. It is made up of rather a lot of pigments. We've got some white in it, we've got some brown in it, and we have got some blue in it. So I guess these all come together to give this interesting mixture, and it says it's medium granulating, which I guess is the reason why it appears to have a granulating corner. We're on to number 267, and this one's called Graphite. Now this is the first colour of all the paints I've tried so far today that is actually opaque. And I don't know if I've used opaque colours in the past. Maybe I have, but not very much. So that's very exciting. And I'm dying to put it into practice. See what happens. Finally, onto the last one, number 263, Velvet Black. When I opened this and saw that it was semi-transparent, I thought, well, that's not going to be very rich. But actually, it is very rich. It goes on really well. And it's a very, very pretty and very sort of a neutral, clean shade of, I suppose, black. And it is another of the colours that I am going to sneak into my new limited palette that I'm going to take away with me today. Now, I want to just point out a couple of things on this last little collection of colours. Number 369, Aquarius Violet. It is a very heavily granulating colour. And it dried much more evenly than it at first appeared when it was wet. And you can pretty much apply that to all your super granulating colours. So don't worry if they look a bit uneven as they're drying. And above all, don't poke at them as they're drying out. Now, 261, that phthalo blue shade, I did poke at it as it was drying out because I felt it was too wet and there was too much liquid on it, and that's why it ended up getting a very messed up surface with a big cauliflower across the top of it, which I don't necessarily want. The other thing that I thought was interesting was the limited edition. It's an earth pigment, and earth pigments in my experience tend to be very, very, very soft and muted. So I'm definitely interested in how that performs, and it's one of the ones I'll take with me in my little experimental set. So come back and see what happens when I come up with a sketch using the new colours. I can't use them all, unfortunately, much as I'd love to, because there are 20 of them there. But I will use a few, and you can see for yourself that way how they perform. Well, that's it for now, folks. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video has been of some use to you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now. Hang on, wait, oh! It's the mystery colour. Ooh, rather nice. This rich magenta. I don't know what type of magenta. I don't know what pigments are involved. I don't know how much it stains, whether it's granulating or not. And its opacity, because there's nothing written on it. But I do know it's pink.